Watchman's Post coming to you again. This time I want to read you another article from the National Interest. And the whole article is based off this statement that General Mattis made. Just to give you an idea of what he said right off the bat. He said that Russia can beat U.S. missile defenses for a forgotten reason. So that's going to be the whole of the article and this video. But I'm sure a lot of people out there don't know who Mattis is, and that's fine. Let me show you real fast. His name is Jim Mattis. You can see his picture over here, and he's an old Marine, and they call him down here. You can see Mad Dog, so they call him Mad Dog Mattis, Mad Dog Jim Mattis, and it says that right now he is the United States Secretary of Defense, serving in the cabinet of Donald Trump. So he's going to be the guy that that gives all the advice to Trump about what we should do militarily, as far as conflicts with other nations goes. That being said, he's a sitting Secretary of Defense, helping decide what goes on with military conflicts. So this isn't some retired guy or some guy telling you his opinion. This is the guy sitting in the cabinet right now, telling you what he thinks as he's sitting in the cabinet. And he's the mouthpiece out of the Pentagon, basically. So what is he saying? That Russia can beat the U.S. missile defenses, and they're saying for a forgotten reason. U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis is adamant that Russia's recently unveiled nuclear weapons delivery vehicles will not change the strategic balance between Washington and Moscow. Moreover, Mattis said that he believes that Russia is wasting its money in developing weapons to overcome American missile defenses because those systems are simply not capable of taking on the Kremlin nuclear arsenal. So what is he saying? To break it down plainly and regular guy language, he's saying that all this new stuff that Putin's showing off, all these super hypersonic weapons and stuff that nobody can defend against, he said, he's making a joke. And he's saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they've got all these things that nobody can defend against, because you know why it doesn't matter? Because I could never defend you before. Those old missiles that they had, we couldn't knock those down either. So now he's got new missiles that move faster. So what? It doesn't change anything. I couldn't defend you yesterday, and I'm not going to be able to defend you today or tomorrow. He's flat out telling you that in a joking kind of way, I guess. Doesn't sound like a joke to me. But let me keep reading. We can dismiss some of this as election rhetoric on the eve of an election and that sort of thing. So Putin's, going up for re-election, and if you believe that their elections are serious or democratic at all, but and he's saying that maybe he's just saying this, to look good for the elections. But as I went through and looked at the clips of what he showed on the videos and all, I get paid to make strategic assessments, and I would just tell you that I saw no change in the Russian military capability, Mattis told reporters on March 10th. And he's not saying that, I don't see a change in their capabilities because this stuff isn't better than what they had. He's saying I don't see a change in their capabilities because they were capable of taking us out with what they had before, and now they're capable of taking us out with this new stuff too. So what's the difference? But the thing that you should take away from this is he's laughing and making a joke out of the fact that you've never been safe from the Russians. He's never been able to defend you against the Russians, and he sure ain't going to be able to defend you now. To keep reading though, and each of these systems that he's talking about that are still years away. Now don't believe that. Now he's trying to tell you that this stuff isn't out in use right now. Which, like he said, what would it matter? Because he's flat out telling you he couldn't defend you before. But it is in use right now. I won't go into that, but sometimes they try to sugarcoat things and make you feel better. And that seems to be what he's doing here. I do not see them changing the military balance. they do not impact any need on our side for a change in our deterrent posture. So he's saying the way we deter them is by flexing all our big missiles, and it keeps them from wanting to fight with us because they know they're going to get hurt. We got scary missiles and they don't want to play with us. It's a deterrent situation, which would be certainly an indication I registered this assessment with something that was changing. Mattis argues that the Russians have entered into a one-sided arms race where the Kremlin is the only one playing. He's saying, you guys are making new missiles, better missiles, but you're the only ones doing it because everything's still where it stands the whole time. You're able to take us out with what you had. We're able to take you out with what we got. Let me talk about the end state. How many years away they are, how much money they want to put into this arms race that they're creating with themselves. Mattis said, at the end of the day, they can sink all that money in. It doesn't change my strategic calculation. I just assumed it would all happen at great expense to the Russian people. It doesn't change anything. So, like I said, you got to really think about what he's saying. He's saying it doesn't change anything because they were capable of taking us out before. They were always able to take us out. So nothing's new. That's what he's saying. Mattis took aim at Russia's developmental status 6 nuclear-powered, nuclear-tipped intercontinental torpedo as an example of its capability. So he's wanting to focus on that doomsday torpedo, which everybody's worried about, and they're all saying that they can't defend against that. It's been in talk for a while. He says, okay. They say they can hit one of our port cities with a robotic torpedo, Mattis said. Okay, they can hit one of our port cities right now today. Do you get what he's saying? He's saying they've always been able to take us out. So the new stuff doesn't matter to him because they've always been able to take us out. I'm putting this out here to show you, look, the sitting Secretary of Defense, General Mad Dog Mattis, is telling you that he couldn't defend you with the old stuff and he sure can't defend you with this new stuff, to show you that the government cannot protect you. A lot of people believe in this imaginary American unsinkable Titanic stuff that they think that we've got advanced technology hidden away and it's going to break out whenever we need it. But they don't live in reality. If you believe that, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you flat out, look at what the general's saying. He's telling you flat out that I couldn't defend you from the old missiles. They got new, better hypersonic missiles that Putin's bragging that nobody can stop. And he's saying they could always take out the port. They could hit one of our port cities right now, today. And he's saying, I can't defend you. Nothing's changed. You were always a sitting duck. He's laughing at you. Why? Because he knows he's got a little card he can scan and go down to the dang on bunker tonight if he needs to. So he's not worried about it. But they're going to let you sit there and die when the bombs come. They're not going to give you a bunker to go to. Has anybody sent you a card lately? They ain't sent me mine. That's just a joke. Mattis argues that the new Russian capabilities are superfluous. I don't even know that word. Because American missile defenses are not designed to intercept the Kremlin's weapons. So, minus the weird bird there, what they're saying is that we've never been able to take out Russian missiles. Never. Our defenses were never designed to compete with Russia. He said, they say they can hit any city by getting through the defenses, Mattis said. We never said that we have a missile defense system against Russia. Did you hear that? Mattis said, we have never said that we have a missile defense system against Russia. He's flat out telling you that he never could have defended you against Russia before, and now they got hypersonic super weapons now. It's always been against one thing, rogue nations. And let me be very clear on those, North Korea and Iran. So he wants to pat you on the back, and now you believe him now that he'll be able to defend you against a couple from Korea or Iran. You want to believe that? I know better. They've had tests recently, and you can look it up for yourself. They've done tests, and they couldn't even knock down one practice trial run of an ICBM coming in, and that was with the experimental technology that they don't even have out yet. So the best technology they got couldn't knock down one practice trial run of an ICBM coming in, and you think that if Korea shot off 3 or 4, that they're going to be able to stop that? He's sugarcoating and trying to make you sleep good tonight. They can't defend you against that either. The entire strategy that America has is called deterrence. We've got lots of nukes, and we can hit you anywhere, and you better not play with us because we've got such big nukes. And it's called mutual destruction. You don't want to fire on us and hit us because we'll just as equally take you out or better depending on what you got. So it's a mutual destruction deterrence strategy, but we have no ability to knock these things down. He's exaggerating a lot, saying that he can even defend you against Korea. You know, I do my study and I read up and I know better. But whether you believe me or not, you've got to believe the sitting Secretary of Defense telling you that he cannot defend you against Russia yesterday, and he sure ain't going to be able to defend you anymore from him. So that being said, Mattis flatly states the U.S. defenses would not work against Russian weapons. They would not work against Russia. He cannot defend you against Russia. I repeat. And that was why the ones missile defense sites he's talking about in Eastern Europe, Mattis said. So they've got so-called missile defense weapons in Europe. He said they would not work, and the Russian officers are professional enough and technically skilled enough that they know that their politicians say is wrong. They will not work against Russians, and they're not designed to. So he's flat out admitting also that the reason we got those missiles over in Europe isn't really to protect us from incoming Russian missiles. It's really so that we can hit the Russians. And the Russians know that, and that's what he's saying. The Russians, however, do not believe that there is a realistic threat from Iran and are suspicious of the fact that American missile defense sites are very close to the borders of Europe, Eastern Europe. So I guess they're trying to say that we're putting this stuff in Europe because we're scared of Iran, and the Russians are like, there ain't no, you're doing that for us. You quit lying. Moscow's suspicion is that the U.S. missile defense system is designed to blunt its retaliatory second strike capability, and even if the system is too rudimentary to neutralize Russian missiles today, that it might not be the case 3 decades from now. Thus, Russia has embarked on a program to overcome any foreseeable American defense capability in the event that Washington does develop a more robust capability. So they're saying you guys are setting those missiles up in Eastern Europe, and you're expecting a fight with the Russians, and as the Russians are saying, you know, we know you can't knock our missiles down. What you're doing is once things kick off, you're going to launch all those missiles from Europe and dull any second attempt and keep things from becoming worse after the first strike. Which, you know, what about us? Are we going to be alive after the first strike? I guess it depends on where you live and where they're shooting first, right? So they're saying that none of this stuff can stop an ICBM, and they all know it, and they're telling you they never could defend you, and that's the meat of this article. I want to keep repeating that Mattis is telling you that he could never defend you from Russia. He's claiming he could defend you from North Korea, and I'm telling you, don't believe that. But the sitting Secretary of Defense, General Mad Dog Mattis, is flat out telling you, folks, don't be worried. I couldn't defend you yesterday. Don't be worried about the new super weapons, the hypersonic weapons. I can't defend you from the old weapons. And they'll, you know, say, oh, the way we keep things from happening is by scare tactics. We've got really big guns and they don't want to mess with us. Don't worry about it. It's called mutual deterrence or mutual destruction, and it's a strategy of deterrence because of that. For the Pentagon, however, the overall strategic balance remains intact. Since the dawn of the missile age, the Kremlin has had the capability to reduce the United States to a smoldering pile of radioactive ash, just as Washington has the ability to reduce Russia to charred radioactive moonscape. So they're talking about that mutual destruction scenario there, and they're saying they have the ability to take us out. We can't defend against it, and the only reason they don't is because we can take them out, and they can't defend against it either. So what I'm saying is they have the capability to do right now what Putin was touting. He's saying they can take us out right now, even with these new missiles not in production completely yet, which they're already changing them out. He's saying that they can take you out right now. He's flat out telling you that. Mattis said, so it doesn't change anything other than how much money they want to spend on something that doesn't change at all the strategic balance. But the reason, that I'm showing you these super weapons is to show you the state of, relations between Russia and America, and they feel the need to flex these weapons to sort of intimidate us in a new way because they feel like the tensions are high and that war could potentially break out soon. But like I said, the big takeaway from this is Mattis is telling you flat out right there in the title, Russia can beat the U.S. defenses. They can get through the defenses today and blow up a major city today, and there's nothing that they can do about it, and they can't protect you. He's flat out telling you that. So if the Department of Defense it can't protect you today, if your government can't protect you today, if America can't protect you today, what does that mean to you? If they can't shoot Russia's missiles coming in, if they can't shoot them down, and they can't defend you, and they're flat out telling you they can't, what does that mean to you? Am I telling you this so you'll sit there and be scared? I'm not scared. I'm not scared a bit. I know this is coming. This is prophesied by God Almighty. I'm telling you to put your faith in Jesus. For those of you who have, this is regarding Daniel 7 and Daniel's bear that God prophesied through Daniel. And that he's going to rise up and devour much flesh. God saying this will happen. All scholars, all Bible scholars agree that Daniel's bear there is Russia. And World War III will happen. So, like I said, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to encourage you to get right with God, with Jesus. If you're already right, be encouraged that this is a sign that, Jesus is coming soon. Stay faithful. If you haven't repented, repent and pray and keep your trust in God. Keep His commandments, keep His ways. Do what's right. Do what's right in your heart. You know what's right. Be a decent person and let go of the sins that you know that God's not going to accept. And get right with God while you got a chance now. And like I said, if you're already faithful and you're waiting on Jesus, this is a very encouraging sign that Jesus is coming soon. These are the major signs. Wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation. These are the major signs that Jesus is coming soon. I'm just a watchman. I'm not a preacher. I'm called to sound the trumpet and warn you that war is coming. I've had dreams. Many people have had dreams. I haven't dreamed about Russia, but I've dreamed about North Korea. In my dreams, North Korea starts World War III. I'm sure Russia comes into play pretty quickly. And lots of people have dreamed about missiles coming in from over the North Pole. Just recently in the videos that Putin put out at the beginning of March this month, he showed that they have the capability of doing that. They have new missiles with unlimited range, hypersonic missiles. And Mattis is flat out telling you that we never could have defended against anything that Russia had. So you got to put your hope in Jesus. Put your trust in Jesus. God's good. He loved you. He loves you now. He died on the cross for you, and He sees every one of us as His little children. But if you're rebellious, this world is meant to break you and correct you. And that's why we suffer and things are so hard, so that you can be brought to a submission point, so you can be brought to your knees and call out and cry out and pray to God and give up your sinful ways. That's the whole point. He's our Father, and a loving parent corrects their children, and that's what God's been doing to us for a long time. And if you don't get right before the Great Tribulation starts, which is World War III, they go hand in hand, then you'll be left behind to suffer, and the purpose is to bring you to correction. For a lot of people, this side of life hasn't been enough, burden for them to be broken and corrected and brought to Jesus. But once these missiles drop and this tribulation starts, that other side's going to break everybody. There's going to be a day, God prophesied, that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Go ahead and submit to Him today. Give up your wicked ways today, so that you don't have to continue suffering or be left behind to die and suffer. And like I said, if most of the people that I'm trying to reach are already saved, and I'm trying to encourage you to remain faithful. Keep your garments white. Stay prayed up. Stay faithful. Be encouraged. Watch for these international conflicts that are going on and be encouraged by it. To know that that's how close you are to seeing your Savior coming and seeing Him, and He's going to come get you and take you out of here. Hang on. Be encouraged. It's not much longer now. So God bless you all. Thank you for subscribing to my videos. Thank you for supporting me on Twitter. I work hard, and I try to encourage anybody I can. So I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe and support me. God bless you all in Jesus' holy name. Amen.